want to, on behalf of the opposition, thank Sir Peter for putting his hands up for this fight. I think this fight is for the people of Papua New Guinea, and we feel in our hearts, though we have lost this battle, but we feel in our hearts it's a win for the people of Papua New Guinea. Yeah. And I want to take this opportunity to thank the team opposition who stood by the convictions that we have in our hearts for better Papua New Guinea, and we brought the challenge to the Prime Minister and to the government. To the people of Papua New Guinea, you know, those 80 plus members on the other side who have casted their votes today, and it is your decision. We look forward to meeting you in 2027. But having said that, the opposition here standing before you, we have our nominee, Sir Ipatas. We have the mover of the motion who will be speaking after that, Sir Temu, and seconder of our motion. And like I said, in this vote today, vote of no confidence today, though the opposition has lost the battle, it's not the end. We feel very strong in us that we have fought the battle for the people of Papua New Guinea, and that fight will continue in the days to come. Let me take this opportunity to give the opportunity to the mover of our motion, Sir Temu, to say a few words. Then we will have the seconder to say a few words, and our nominee, Sir Ipatas, will conclude that. So,
thank you, Leader, and thank you, our Hotel Prime Minister nominee, to have the privilege of being the mover of the motion, supported by my colleague, Lino, and another 16 possibility to do the great part. I hope that each of you have already received my statement that I made to the clear request that you should publish it. Because in my view, as the mover, we spoke on behalf of the people. The nation is one. The issues that we are fighting for, you are feeling it out. So we are very bad. We are in a crisis. Mission council, some of them are leaving us because this government is not creating a level field. And really weaponizing the fight for the future today. Nobody wanted to debate on the floor of party. You can debate to support their family. They refuse to debate, and my conclusion is they don't have anything. We cannot say anything on their house, where we should be talking people's house. And the Prime Minister spoke in Mambo. And so I want to appeal to our people. To keep praying that the change must come. We believe that this Prime Minister is not the right person to occupy the seat. We have a lot of evidence in the legal of the new mistakes that have been made. I summarize them in moving on for Parliament. I summarize the safety of the legal of and also summarize the sentiment of what unique people are feeling. Nobody can deny that. Unfortunately today, only passing here, only passing out. The second point I made in my statement today is pointed to a private business. So when I'm wrong, the members of the Congress, I have recommended that the private business committee should be opposition because we deal with not only our emotions but more importantly issues with this. So in the next sitting of Parliament, I personally would request the Speaker and the Parliament to change that by the people to 2 weeks within one from government, the Speaker and the Deputy of Parliament. Until we make major legislative changes on that, as well as how do we process Section 1.5 of Parliament. In conclusion, I want to thank the Honorable Chief Chief for accepting our nomination and seeking it through right to today's and to commend it, Harry, and commend it for the commend him for moving out of the government and coming into the new country. Thank you for people. People are very happy. We are law-abiding people. What do you observe in the people today? We are following the opportunity is followed. When we see that the law is not followed, we got our arm around it. We say we going to correct the mistakes we did. So it was the honor to make the move to be the movement. We already knew that they were going to win the vote anyway. But why did they get debate at the same time? That's a question the media should be asking. Headline should be tomorrow, government get the debate. Again, should be the case. Thank you. Thank you everyone who take that with me. Also on behalf of my colleague member, wanted to say Ipatas. I think it's an opportunity to thank the honorable leader from the opposition and also a few or maybe many government deputies who sort of asked government to come over so they can vote. Unfortunately, we didn't have the guts to stand up this morning. But having said that, today what transpired on the floor actually showed that one of the leaders was standing here today leading something called Papua New Guinea. And they can feel the pain and they can see all the bad repercussions of the government mismanaging the affairs of the nation. So because of that, we decided to put in the vote of no confidence in the Prime Minister and voted to with this morning. And I also want to let people know the role of the opposition. What we do today is so that everyone in the country should know that there are people here whose consciences are not dead, and people who can think independently and make assessments and make decisions. That's what we do today. It's a responsible decision. And if words were everything that mattered, if words were the measure by which a government would be measured, I think we'd be living in the richest Christian black nation we listening from the South. Unfortunately, words is cheap. We keep hearing cheap promises. We keep hearing cheap policies. We keep hearing cheap, rhetoric. And misuse of the budget. And that's the reason why we decided to vote as we did this morning. Politics is all about making promises and uncertainty in the world. And like I said, unlike contracts, they can't be enforced by a legal body. The people who then step in to hold any government accountable to their promises is one of the leaders less than the people. I think we represented the people well this morning. And, as they say, we couldn't live in a Christian country. We would not see actions. We don't want to see hypocrites, doing grandstanding all over the place. Because at the end of the day, words won't put food on the table for us. It's the action of the government that we need to change. That's why we decided to vote. A fine to blame that we let people say that. So the Prime Minister this morning in his speech said that people have been holding him to ransom, so he's been acting the way he did in his speech. He's been acting in his speech. So hopefully now that it has an 18-month free win to 2027, hopefully we will make some strong decisions in the coming weeks. I'm hoping to see a major result because the same people are, it's like holding to them. So it's like Albert Einstein's famous appointing the same group of people and expecting people to come. Airline tickets have gone through the roof, fuel prices have gone through the roof. We have one of the most unreliable
by the expensive, you know, cost of energy in this country. All these things are happening, and I think those are the real things. We want them to make some things with money to actually, you know, interesting.
Good afternoon, Maria. I just want to take this opportunity to once again thank the office of the leader Jessica and for the team. Thank you for nominating me and making me your nominee for the top job. It's not, as I said, it's not an easy one. The way I saw it is that I would become an option for the government side. Obviously, as I said, a lot of dissatisfaction, rumors and gossips going around by this. So I decided to accept the nomination with a view that I became an option for, especially the government MPs, to exercise the right to vote another person to head the country, because the issues facing the country that people are trying to some resolution issues. So that's basically what I've done. You know, after being a governor for 27 years, thank you, Edith, for giving me the opportunity. You know, and I accept this decision by Parliament. We always knew that this would be the result. I call for both teams, everybody to not be in camp, because I feel that we are leaders who must make our own conscious decision on issues that affect the country. Unfortunately, the government, as our Prime Minister said himself, decided to have some session to be accommodated. I don't think they had a free conscious that I was coming to. So that is up to the people now. All the cameras were on the leaders voting. I think this is a very important vote exercise in Parliament. It represents, it shows how these leaders think about their people and their issues. And that is for each electorate, each people in every electorate to make judgment on the leaders. We can leave it with the people. We have done our bit. We try to represent their interests in Parliament, but the members have voted otherwise. So I just want to say that there's a lot of issues confronting us, and obviously those people who are here in the media, you know that law and order is close to my heart. Basically, this is what I come from my province to this issue, and this is issues that law and order has been there for a long time. No proper strategy has been put into combat law and order. I thought this to assist in helping to have strategies to fix the law. At the same time, as governors have been screaming for more powers to the provinces so that we can take ownership. Our mandate is direct mandate to head in Parliament. The people vote for us, and they expect us to fulfill for them in the provinces. So this has been outstanding for a long time. So this is an issue that I wanted to follow. And then as Sir rightly said, all the issues in terms of living cost in this country, everybody can see it. And as I said in Parliament, I hope the Prime Minister now can actually make some decision to save the country. It is not progressing at all. We think it's progressing, but we are not. So let's hope that we will start with the appropriate decision, appointing the right people into ministries. Also reviewing the appointments that is done to all these constitutional officers. Most of them are not functioning at all. That's the problem is that ES as Prime Minister. So I want to thank the people of this country. We get to social media and connections to our leaders in Parliament that they want to change. We want to tell them that we've done our best, we have done our powers, as representative of the people, we voted the floor. We couldn't master numbers, but it's now up to the people to assess all of us leaders. If we are doing the right thing for our people. Right? We have a mandate, but that mandate belongs to. If we don't listen to the people, if we don't see the problems that they're facing, then we have real issues. Then you are representing somebody else. You either representing yourself or your corporate friends or whoever else you are representing. But you are not representing the people that you represent. So if these the honorable members think that on the other side think that everything is okay, well, they must be living in another planet. Not in, open. So I just want to leave it at that, and happy to go back to Ghana and do my YouTube work. Wish you all the best. How you leaders in opposition? As I've never been in the opposition. I've experienced that these are a very, very proactive opposition. They've got a mixture of experience and young, qualified, engaged people. And I think they will one day, given the opportunity, they will be able to do like.
Thank you, Sir Temu. Before we introduce Governor Bird and member for Medan on the Section 145 reference, I'd like to announce to the media that we in the opposition have reorganized the House. We have all the shadow ministries fixed. Our shadow ministers will be all running from this day on, making certain that they address issues affecting the ministries on the government side, the cabinet, and we have shadow ministries all ready to perform their duties. So if you have any questions on any of the related matters from the government, cabinet ministers, we have the shadow ministries here who can deal with these issues. I would like to also take this opportunity to thank all the opposition members once again, and to inform the people of Papua New Guinea that the opposition is intact and opposition is ready to tackle the issues that are affecting our nation and keep the government honest and on their toes. Thank you. I'll allow Governor Bird and Brian for Medan to address the Section 145. Thank you.
Thank you, Owen. I'll be brief. As you know, the Section 145 is really an accountability mechanism, and the actions of government are reducing our ability to hold the government to account. And we think that there is enough previous case law, including the one by the Honorable Belden Nama, and we think that consistent with that, the ruling should be in our favor, and that is to ensure that the accountability of a Prime Minister is not reduced by law. That's what the net effect of the amendment does. But like beyond that, you just saw today the hypocritical stance of the leader of government business. When we try to debate, they basically shut down debate. As the Honorable Secretary said. The court orders were clear. And again, your members of parliament have three distinct privileges awarded by the Constitution. Number one, we have a right to introduce motion. Number two, we have a right to vote as per our content. The other one is that we have a right to debate on your behalf. These were given by the founding fathers, so the founding fathers of the country. What they have effectively done is to cut out the people. So part of the Section 145 reference is to ensure that future debates and the future rights of members are not reduced by the actions of the government or reduced by the, because that's what they're doing. They're reducing the ability of members of parliament to perform their constitutional work. And so that's why we're taking it to court. But like more than that, when I stood up to debate today, we were shut down by the government. They refused to debate, but they didn't allow us to debate. For whatever reason, or correct law, debate, depending decision, glorious lives of people. Now, when we tried, they shut us down. Then the leader of government business has the audacity to stand up and say, you are not going to go now. Debate lo social media, talk lo news outlets, or whatever, you must debate the solo parliament and not going to go outside. but you just shut down that debate. So this is the kind of hypocritical things the government is doing. You know, the other thing, Prime Minister James Marape, with respect, he likes to get credit for the things that are working well in the country. I mean, him and his guys try to take credit for the proper work that we were doing in the city. Anytime something good is happening in the country, they go and take credit for it. The work that the Honorable Peter O'Neill, as the former Prime Minister, was doing, they go and take credit. When something goes wrong, they blame everybody else. Instead of accepting the fact that he won today, he tried to blame the lack of performance of the government on other people. He blamed it on governors. And most of those governors are still with him, and he blamed them. And this is the thing. We need a Prime Minister that's going to take responsibility. Look at Sir Peter. He acknowledged all the major problems that are going on in this province, particularly law enforcement. He's been the most consistent leader calling on the floor of Parliament even before I became a member about law and order issues, and he's still trying to solve them. So obviously there's a breakdown somewhere. And I think if you're a line of media, you should dig into some of these things. If you can do some investigative reports, people are publishing as to some of these things. They speak on the floor as if they are authority on everything, but in actual fact, they are not. Or by making up on the talk Yaman, or trying to make them up, supporting and making them come with some people. And I was happy that the opposition today, we did our function, we stood up, and we pointed out all of the things that were wrong in the Prime Minister's speech. But that's got to stop. We need a Prime Minister that's going to take this responsibility, and he's going to take the hard decisions and make the change for all of us. I mean, if you are going to, say that people are holding you to ransom, hold him in. How are they holding you to ransom? Won't come and ask you to give some extra points to the site. But anyway, the Prime Minister. So anyway, you need to not plan too much. Congratulations, sir. Proud of you. Thank you, members of the media and members of the opposition and the leader. Just to add brief members of the media concerning the application of Supreme Court application section 81 that's been filed, the applicant being the governor and the provincial member for Isipik of Alan Bird. Those proceedings have been, the application has been filed 2 weeks ago. It came up and mentioned yesterday. Parties have been, the lawyers sought for an adjournment to serve the other parties, namely the Prime Minister as well as opposition leader. The service has been effected as of yesterday, and the matter returns on the 23rd of next week. And then those proceedings will run its normal course. We saw in the case of the successful application by the opposition, deputy opposition leader, it took a period within the first mention to stay a hearing of a standing to substantive hearing and a ruling within a period of 3 months. So we now, with the unsuccessful vote of no confidence being moved, Section 145, subsection 5 kicks in, meaning that the Constitution 145 prohibits any further votes of no confidence against the Prime Minister for a period of 18 months, which would carry him into the period of October next year, which would be within that last 12-month restriction of moving votes of no confidence. However, the opposition is confident in the success of the application filed by the governor. The reason that he filed this application because he was a nominee that was denied the opportunity for his nomination to make its way to the floor. And so now as the applicant, we expect within 3 months, based on previous proceedings in dealing with Supreme Court references, that the court will make a determination as to whether Section 1455 is unconstitutional and ought to be struck down. If that was the case, then if that application is upheld, then you will see probably June or that a decision is handed down. And on that basis, the vote of no confidences, the rights for the opposition to move or continue to move will be back on the table. So this is hardly a fight that's over. It's on one battle of a war that continues between now and the next election, or when the Prime Minister is removed. It's a process that gets involved. Unfortunately, today we saw a Prime Minister talking about the importance of good governance and leadership, but one of the basic fundamental rights is the right to debate on the floor of Parliament. Afforded to every member on the floor of Parliament, that is enshrined in our Constitution. Even if you read the Supreme Court ruling, this ruling,
it noted that fact, that issue, that debate. It wasn't even the subject of the reference. But the Supreme Court noted that in the last motion prior to that, debate was gagged. And that stated very explicitly that the Speaker was to facilitate debate. Unfortunately, the pressure put on him by a meeting that at the request of the government. Why? Because the opposition would be afforded the opportunity of all the failures by James Margaret. All the contracts of 200 plus million, 200 plus million that have been awarded to even members of his own cabinet. All of these issues would have been raised, and that is what James Margaret does not want. So the Speaker shut down the opportunity for debate for the opposition, and yet turned around and allowed the Prime Minister to debate on issues concerning grandstanding about his term in office, and then criticizing the opposition. So we were denied the opportunity to criticize him, yet the Speaker afforded him the right. Now, I'm aware that the Prime Minister wants to go on record as the best Prime Minister in PNG's history. The reality is he was the only Prime Minister that has shut down debate on the floor of Parliament, not only by our democracy, America's democracy. America recently, a senator spoke for 24 hours. Over 24 hours, he was afforded the right to debate. Because once they debate, you can't shut them down. That's their right. It's only in PNG, we are a banana republic under James Margaret, that we shut down debate. So I'm not sure how the Prime Minister attends these world gatherings and tells everyone, oh, by the way, I don't allow people to debate against me. You know, it's completely shameful that we have a sitting Prime Minister that he's so scared of words and criticism. So the Speaker, unfortunately, in my view and the view of other members, committed contempt of court and also breached Section 23 of the Constitution that provides sanctions where any person or authority who defies constitutional obligation can be file proceedings against them and can be executed and face up to 5 to 10 years jail or 10,000 kina fine. Unfortunately, the discussion now is going on in the opposition that we will possibly consider taking that course of action, and we'll see our Speaker dragged in with the clerk into Parliament. So that's why it was important that questions were put to him, into court. So that it's important that those questions were put to him on the floor, the hands were recorded. And I had the opportunity to meet with the Speaker, and I put him on notice. Unfortunately, because of the pressure put on him, he folded to the government side and entertained the question he put to shut down debate. So they filed a Section 19 reference that allows for Parliament. And most of this, I can tell you, it's just exchange. They're going to try and use these proceedings to frustrate and delay. They're of the opinion that the court has no authority to keep Parliament in check. Unfortunately, they don't understand. The Constitution keeps everything. We are subject to the Constitution. The three arms of government are subject to the Constitution. And so I have, on my view, that I have no question of doubt that their case will be thrown out for what it is, or they will come to quickly realize that their case is baseless and they will withdraw it. So just to inform members of the media, that's the status of where things are on the Section 145 government. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, questions?